And we're live. Welcome to the Free Hollywood Triple Witching Elon Wakanda Star Alignment Show. Hopefully the Bitcoin all-time high show as well. We've been trying to do this since Bitcoin actually did break its all-time high a few days back. Joining me tonight is the voice of common reason, albeit wrapped up in the cutest bundle you've ever seen in your life, Darth Grogu.
That's right. I have a name now. Wow.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Well, remains to be seen. I mean, looks like Luke is going to be trying really hard to keep me from the dark side. But
okay, so we're going to. I'm sorry to be stepping all over you. We're going to save the spoiler free. We're going to save the spoiler talk for the end of the show. So jumping in there for a second. So if anyone has not seen or is not caught up on The Mandalorian season 2, you're fine for the stream. We will let you know towards the end of the stream when we're going to transition into Mandalorian Star Wars spoiler talk. But we could still speak generally, about Star Wars and so forth, but we're going to leave spoilers out until then, if it's not too late already. But yeah, man, I'm going to just shift for a second. It's December 22nd. I stayed up and watched all night. Did you see the Wakanda Star or didn't you?
I did not. It was pretty damn cloudy out here. So no, I did not.
Yeah. I didn't see it either, and it was probably my bad, but I was watching a YouTube stream where the planets were aligning, and it said that I guess the perfect alignment would happen 7 hours later. So I set an alarm, but the sun was kind of coming up on my side, and I didn't see it. But did you feel it though? Are you experiencing any DNA anomalies?
Oh, the power of the dark side is growing.
Awesome. So, but that's only supposed to be for people of color. Was that color green?
Yes.
Okay, so you're feeling it. Awesome, man. I have, a friend of mine, a person of color that I sent a message to saying, "Hey man, are you feeling it?" Like totally out of context, not mentioning the meme. Perhaps we should mention the meme for those that are joining us and don't know what we're talking about. So December 21st was the first day in 800 years that the stars, the planets were to align in the night sky, and they call it the God Star because it is, as they say, the same star that led the wise people to Jerusalem to find our Lord and Savior Jesus, my stepbrother. Oh, by the way, I'm Anarcho Jesus, your host for tonight's show. Getting back to the God Star. So this meme has popped up online that people of color, Black Lives Matter people are going to receive their superpowers when the planets align, and that was supposedly a few hours ago. So I mean, I haven't seen anyone like fly by my house yet. I haven't seen any lasers just yet, but
Wait, so is that actually like a belief out in like some weird black supremacist crowd or something that?
Good question. As far as I know, it's just a meme. It's a gag, and all of my black friends just kind of going along with it, for the memes and things. But there are a couple of tweets which also might be total troll and gags where people were taking it a little bit seriously.
Figure that maybe this was something that's the black Hebrew Israelites actually believed or something, or Farrakhan was saying. I don't know.
I mean, I haven't Googled it, but let me know if you find anything about that. Well, I've been calling it the Elon God Star because December 21st, yesterday, was also the Tesla stock inclusion into the S&P 500. which is amazing because when I first started investing in the company Tesla, it was what I considered a speculative stock, my spec play. I wasn't going all in or anything like that because of the risks involved, but I personally was a strong believer, and that belief's only strengthened over time. But being included in the S&P, I mean, come on, this isn't a speculative stock anymore. This is prime time.
Yeah, it is still leading Ethereum on the race to 700.
Oh, right. Yeah. So we've been watching Ethereum and the Tesla stock price. It was when they both crossed 500, right? And we were watching it and saying which one's going to get to 600 first. And then by the next morning, or no, it was a weekend. And by Monday morning, when the stock market opened, Ethereum had already passed 600. So Tesla never had a chance on that race. But then Ethereum pulled back, and Tesla quickly shot up past 600. And then it was like, okay, well, the race is on for 700. So on Friday, which was the triple witching hour, by the way, you know what that is?
Triple witching hour.
Well, it's where a lot of options expirations come due, and all at the same time. And they call it the triple witching hours, where there's a lot of volume of traded paper and stocks and cashing out happening all at the same time, right at the end of trading day. And that was on Friday. And it also happened to be the last chance for a lot of these hedge fund managers and, kind of medium-sized to large-size investment firms to buy Tesla before the inclusion. And it seemed like most of them waited till the very last second. And the volume of trading, it was incredible. Like, it was just incredible, the volume right there at the end of the day. And Tesla traded up to $695 is where it was.
Didn't quite reach 700, and it's been dropping back this week. I mean, Tesla and Ethereum are about even right now, both hanging out kind of 630, 640 range.
Should I pull it up? I don't have it here. That's all right. Yeah, man. So who do you think is going to make 700 first? Tesla, TSLA, or Ethereum?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm actually going to say that Tesla's going to get there first.
Yeah?
Yeah, even though, I'm more of the Ethereum proponent traditionally, and Ethereum obviously has a huge upside too. But I think short term, this euphoria over Tesla is going to keep going for a while. I mean, there's the FUD right now about Elon said that he was trying to, sell to Tim Cook. That
was back in 2018.
Yeah, well, that's coming out again, coming up again because of the talk about the Apple, car plan and everything. And so there seems to be some FUD going around to some degree about like, okay, Apple is going to overtake Tesla at some point in the years ahead. But I still think there's definitely, huge upside for Tesla. I think the FUD is likely misplaced.
Yeah, man. I noticed that too. It always seems like when good things are happening for Tesla, the cronies and the mainstream media that's working with their buddies that are short sellers seem to come out with the FUD. And one of those FUD items that always seems to come is the competition. The competition is coming. The competition is coming.
How's Nikola doing these days? Speaking of the competition,
Nikola, oh my God, not even worth our time. But yeah, I think it's like $16, which is kind of amazing that it didn't just collapse after Trevor Milton started selling his shares. That's kind of a side tangent. Don't want to get into it right now. You guys can Google Nikola Motors and in fact, if you want to search on YouTube for a couple of guys that have done extensive reviews of the Nikola Motors debacle with the Hindenburg research and so forth, I would recommend Solving the Money Problem. That's Mark Ryan. Yeah. Anyway, Solving the Money Problem, and another one is Thomas Nash. Yeah, a couple of Thomas Nash is more of a traditional stock analyst who's become a full-time YouTuber. And Stephen Mark Ryan was a YouTuber that used to have a YouTube channel about pickup artistry. And but he was also a Tesla fanboy and began investing in the company, and came out with a video and a new channel. I believe it was a Cybertruck video. He may have had a couple of others before that one, but it was early in the channel, like in the first few videos. The Cybertruck video just went totally viral, and now he's like one of the most popular Tesla tubers.
So all the old school PUAs are pushing Tesla now.
Not all, just this one, as far as I know.
Okay.
But do you want to tell our audience what PUA is?
Oh, what you just said. That was a pickup artist from the golden age of mystery and the game and so on, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, the game. That was that book written by Neil Strauss.
Yeah.
He was a writer for Rolling Stone magazine, and he embedded and immersed himself into the pickup artist community back in like what was the 2010-ish?
Circa 2010. Yeah, that's kind of was the height of all that.
And the book, when he when it was printed and distributed, it came out, it looked just like a Bible. It was like leather-bound, black leather binding with a gold trim and like a red marker, like a red cloth marker, just like you'd find in a high quality. Yeah.
So a Bible, huh? So now the PUAs are all worshiping Elon instead, right?
Hey, man, if there's anyone that is worth a little bit of adoration, it'd be Elon Musk, I think, these days.
Yeah, they're using all their game abilities for their man crush on Elon right now.
And look how it's working. The stock price is up over 10x in the last 9 months. Incredible. Good job, guys. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if if that Solving the Money Problem channel didn't have some small contribution in that boost to the share price. He's just kind of a balls out Tesla fanboy that's always just rah-rahing and ranting in favor of Tesla, and kind of doing reaction videos to these analysts that have been so frustrating to me over the years, because I listen to these guys too, and I'd have a lot of the same opinions that Solving the Money Problem shares, but I just haven't had the balls out to come out and talk about it too much. By the way, man, it's been a while since we've live streamed.
I know. It seems like, months just kind of slipped by on this. So,
well, it's been a while since we've posted a video too.
Yeah.
I got to say, we're pretty pathetic YouTubers when it comes to running this channel here.
We try, like every now and then we think like, oh yeah, it would be a good idea to really do this. And I don't know. Maybe this is the beginning. This is it right here. This is when Free Hollywood Live becomes a more consistent adventure.
The beginning of the end.
The beginning.
This is the end, my friend.
Yeah.
No, but for real, I mean, it's difficult, to it seems to get together, especially now that we're down a man.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, not that anyone out there is really listening or caring, but yeah, we're down a man. Justice. We lost our comrade Justice to COVID.
Yeah, Justice never even had an avatar like us, though. He, I don't know. Did he ever even get a Yeti? As we were trying to really get things. He did get a Yeti. Yeah, because I just remember that one episode that like he was getting really mad at us after the fact. Like half the problem was not that like we weren't answering his question about masks or whatever the fuck it was. The problem was his audio was so horrible I couldn't hear the damn question.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't recall about the audio problem, but
yeah, his audio was terrible. And I forget exactly what he was mad at us about. It was something about COVID and how we wouldn't say that, it's all fake and, or something. And he was really mad about that. And he was like, I think he was asking a question like, where do you guys draw the line? Where do you guys draw the line? And we weren't answering. And it was because his audio was crap. He didn't have his Yeti. So Justice, if you're out there, that's that's what that was.
Well, it is a little fuzzy in my memory too, because it's so long ago now.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking like April and May or something, which in 2020, time distortion may as well be a few thousand years ago now. But
and also it was something like I didn't really feel like I was too involved. It seemed like he was more upset at you at first, and I just tried to moderate a little bit and kind of just be a voice of reason or whatever. But if I recall, there's a pretty long form documentary that he sent a link to us about, and it was at a time where I was still in hardcore prep mode and kind of busy, it seemed. But anyway, I never did get around to watching that documentary at that time. And I believe he was really upset that we didn't watch it, because apparently that thing really opened his eyes to a lot of things. But as I was trying to explain to him, I've had a lot of my libertarian friends come to me with documentaries and links and things to long videos. And as I get into watching them, I mean, it's like, it becomes clear that either the video itself isn't even a serious documentary. It's like a mockumentary. And they just aren't in on the joke. Or it's just like there's so much out of context stuff and editing trickery that you just, as someone that's a little bit learned in anything,
my recollection, this particular video that he sent us, I won't go into the details of what it was, but quite a few doctors, signed a statement after this documentary came out saying that they were misquoted and all their material was taken out of context in there. So, that's huge. I mean, we used to always talk about how like CNN or whoever would quote Ron Paul out of context and so on. And so, rightfully so, we criticize the mainstream media when they do that. So we absolutely just should be just as vigilant for that happening in alternative media. So, I don't think Justice was being appropriately vigilant in terms of, watching this video and being on the lookout for the ways the alternative media can lie just as much as mainstream media can.
Right. It's all coming back to me now. Well, and I was kind of on the sidelines at first, but eventually I did say that I haven't seen the video either, and I wasn't really planning to at that point. And I guess it was a real personal offense. So I said, like, if you don't value my opinions or suggestions and things, I'm out. Yeah. So we lost a comrade, man, and that was a real surprise to me, because we've been tight from day one, like literally in the Ron Paul revolution when we met at the Tea Party, like all those years ago, 2007. There's a lot of time, a lot of investment, a lot of a relationship. So it is a little surprising to me that someone could get so triggered over such a, small thing as I didn't watch a video. And, it's a personal decision. And as I was saying at the time, let's have the debate on the live stream.
Yeah.
Let's have the conversation with an audience.
With the Yetis. So when he asks a question, like whatever it was, whatever he claimed that he was asking, where do you guys draw the line? Where do you guys draw the line with, masks or whatever he was going on about? We can actually hear the question, because
well, let me just kind of
because he kept replaying that clip to us, like in our private chat, saying like, you guys never answered this. You never answered this.
Which clip is that?
The clip a clip from an old live stream, where he's asking us like, where do you guys draw the line on this? Or that's what he says he's asking.
Well, let's get into it. I mean, he's not here, but that's fine. I could talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're ever out there, Justice, listen to this, still love you, buddy. I don't harbor any hard feelings against you whatsoever. I'd like to have a conversation with you and things. So if you're ever out there and you're feeling, that you need a friend, Jesus is here for you. Give me a call. And anyway,
so is Darth Yoda.
Right on, man. So, but anyway, where do I draw the line? Well, it's definitely in a different place than where it was when the question was initially asked by Justice. That's for sure. In the beginning, when we were first doing live streams about all this early on, we were very early, by the way. It was like we started live streaming and talking about this before we even knew the term coronavirus. We were talking about it before the Democrats were even willing to admit that it was a thing.
This was back when Nancy Pelosi was still walking around Chinatown in San Francisco saying, everybody come to Chinatown, don't be a racist.
Right.
Just fine. I mean, I get her point, but, she was definitely not in lockdown mode. She was in the opposite of lockdown mode circa February. It's hilarious in retrospect.
And Trump, he locked down the travel from China at that time, and the Democrats called him a xenophobe. Mm-hmm. So it was early. I mean, because that's a history that isn't even really talked about anymore. I mean, The only one that even brings that up is Trump himself, and he has been silent for quite a while at this point.
Yeah, and so you were sharing like all these kind of scary looking videos off of Chinese social media and so on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. I wasn't getting my information from CNN or the Democrats or Fox News and the Republicans. I was getting my news from social media coming straight off the streets of China, where I was seeing people getting thrown into the boxes in the back of trucks and dragged off, and seeing people's apartments welded shut, and seeing the people dead in the hallways at the hospital. And so when early on Justice was super skeptical of all this COVID stuff, my point was, what's going on in China right now and what I'm seeing has nothing to do with the Democrats. It has nothing to do with mainstream media. It has nothing to do with the political agenda that I'm aware of. It has to do with, there's a thing going on in this world, and nobody's telling us about it. And I just wanted to get information out there so that people could start preparing themselves accordingly. Because regardless of what you believe about COVID, regardless of how real it is, and how deadly it is, people were going to panic, and it was going to be difficult to buy goods in the stores. And that was what I was talking about early on.
Yeah, and then the great toilet paper shortage began, as predicted.
We were way early because that was way before the that great toilet paper run.
Yeah.
I mean, man, toilet paper disappeared like it was money coming out of an ATM.
Like it was money falling out of the Federal Reserve's helicopters.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was literal burp money. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We were early, so we were talking about it, but and here's the thing, Justice was even earlier than us, in some sense, because I was early in like, hey, let's get information out there, let's learn what we can, let's get people ready and prepared so that they're not caught off guard, left without water and essential supplies. And Justice, right from the beginning, was saying, yeah, but this is something that's going to be used for political ends, and it will be taken advantage of. This will be that thing, that silver bullet that the globalists have been looking for all this time.
Oh, yeah. And Justice was absolutely right about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I don't think I ever had a thing to say against that.
No.
The line, where do I draw the line? Where does anarcho-Jesus draw the line?
Yeah, I forget what that was precisely his question, but it was
it's forced
vaccinations.
Like forced vaccinations. I mean, absolutely. I'm not down with forced vaccinations. I do not support force of any kind.
Do you think that's coming?
It depends on if it's Trump or Biden. If it's Biden, I think there may be an attempt made, but never under Trump. I mean, I think that's pretty clear.
And do you think that what percentage of a chance do you think that it could still be Trump a month from now?
Oh, I mean, it's a low percentage chance. Yeah, it's like that. You remember that football game way, way, way back? It was the Buffalo Bills versus, let me see if I get this right. Was it the Houston Oilers? Man, it was the greatest comeback in history. You know, it was like the percentage chance of this comeback was like astronomically low.
Oh, was this in the 90s or something?
It was.
Am I trying
Yeah.
to remembering right? That this may have even been in the playoffs, and it was.
Yeah. And I was pretty keen on that particular game because it was their second string quarterback just to complicate things even further, you know, on the team that was so far behind when it came to the halftime. So it was like halftime and they were down by 56 points, something like that. It was like over 50 points they were down. It was incredible deficit. Halftime, second string quarterback. But this guy just happened to be a Christian guy, the second string quarterback, and he was a big fan of Christian musician Michael English. Do you know who Michael English is?
Nope, afraid not. I mean, I'm too far on the dark side to know all the all the big Christian contemporary music stars, I'm sure.
Figured as much, you heathen. So anyway, Michael English is a male vocalist who had some top, you know, CCM hits back in the early 90s. I mean, just awesome voice. And by the way, we have the Bitcoin close coming up in 8 minutes. So we're going to switch over to that, and we could switch back to this topic as well. So this second string quarterback on the Houston Oilers was inspired by Michael English's song, you know, and he went out there and he played with all of his heart for Jesus, basically. And they actually came back and defeated the Buffalo Bills. And I think that's who it was. Anyway, I'll have to check this after, man. I wasn't prepared to talk about this, and this so long ago. But it was just so impressive because afterwards the second string quarterback gave all the glory to God, talked about Michael English and the song and how it inspired him, so that when they came back to play again, you know, like in the next round of the playoffs, they actually had Michael English come out and sing the halftime show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really, really touching, really kind of profound, actually, at that time. But can't remember the rest of the history if they won or lost from there. But that one game, and here we are with Trump. I mean, it's a huge Hail Mary. Everything has been like a huge Hail Mary, but you know, he hasn't been acting like someone that's expecting to leave, except for one thing: the pardoning or the potential pardoning of Julian Assange.
Yeah, that's still just in rumor mode right now. And unfortunately, given how, and I know this has been to some degree of area of difference between us, but given, you know, disappointment after disappointment from Trump, I am not going to hold my breath, you know, waiting for Julian Assange or Edward Snowden or Ross Ulbricht or any of the other favorites among libertarians for a pardon to actually get pardoned. I would like to be pleasantly surprised, but yeah, I don't think I will be.
Darth Blackpill.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen. Well, you know, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. If the pardons start rolling in hard and heavy, Trump's getting ready to pack his bags. You heard it here first. If the pardons aren't coming fast and furious, he still thinks he's got it somehow. He's replaced so many people in the Department of Justice. He put Mike Pompeo in charge, the guy that says he's getting ready for a second Trump administration, to the mainstream media. He set them all aflame. They got all triggered. Well, we are 6 minutes from the Bitcoin close. I'm just now noticing the background here. I'm trying to bring it up.
Yes. Is it time to bring up TradingView or something?
I'm trying to bring it up on Chrome. We're streaming through Chrome tonight because with Chrome you can actually have video with audio, and later we're going to watch some Star Wars reactions, and we're going to react to the Star Wars reactions, which is incredible. Anyway, more on that later. But I haven't found TradingView yet. But let me pull it up on my phone and take a look. It's when I last checked, Bitcoin was threatening to hit another all-time high, and not all-time high. Sorry, just a new local high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a few $100s below the all-time high. But yeah, it's obviously not by much, but it's not going to close at an all-time high today.
Notice the Bitcoin or the background here. I've got it as an image. We can put it over the top. How I made this like after, like right as Bitcoin was threatening to break all-time highs, and it just wasn't happening. But we were anticipating it, so I had this thumbnail prepared so we could do the show when it broke all-time highs. But now this chart is like way old, and I'm looking at that thing going like, my God, I need to update it, because it's the new all-time high for Bitcoin is what, Dorothy Yoda?
Slightly over 24,000.
Yeah, 24K.
Yeah. 24 depends on obviously what exchange you look at. But you know, it's 24,200 something, if I remember right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And last I checked today, we were in the upper 23 range.
Yes, sir. And Bitcoin is breaking out currently at this time.
Mm-hmm.
We have $23,922 is the current price of Bitcoin, and it is moving up rather rapidly. The RSI is in the bullish control zone. It's staying above the 12-period moving average, even on the 5-minute chart. Mm-hmm. Really respecting that. Tom Vase says if Bitcoin closes today's candle above 23,600, he becomes bullish short term as well.
All right, yeah, it looks like we're going to. We got 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, unless we crash like $300 or $400 in the next, 3 minutes. It looks like Tom Vase is going to be very bullish come open of markets tomorrow. Mm-hmm. He doesn't trade Bitcoin directly. He trades GBTC, mm-hmm. which is a financial instrument that was put together by Grayscale. Oh, here we go. It's breaking out again. Okay.
All right.
23,950. We're not going to be crashing down, I don't think. So I'm going to go ahead and call it, even though we're still a couple of minutes away from the close. Take a look at this daily candle. Yeah, man, and I hope I can get TradingView up. I was going to take you through my thesis, but we may have to save that for another time. But really, the way I've been looking at this all-time high and breakout and so forth is that if Bitcoin was able to break out beyond 20,000, my gut feeling, so we were going to 30,000. Now, during that time, everyone in the Bitcoin YouTube community was basically calling for 12 or 13,000. Everyone. And I just stuck to my guns. I didn't sell a thing, just hodled on. And mm-hmm. people were selling and trying to short and trying to, make money. Even Tone sold his GBTC, had to buy it back in higher, which is totally fine. That's the way his style of trading. Yeah, I just held everything for the most part, except for Ethereum. That one, I buy and sell Ethereum on Robinhood because there's no fees, and really, that's only for trading because everything's cash settled when it comes to crypto on Robinhood.
Right.
So I don't really recommend people that want to own Bitcoin to use Robinhood. I mean, that's just for trading.
Yeah, Robinhood is really just for fun. I mean,
yeah.
Just
for fun. Yeah. And so I keep a little money in there and trade it. And I mean, it's been doing pretty good. Good little portfolio now. It used to be a huge portfolio. I had hundreds of shares of Tesla in there, and I stupidly traded them away in 2018 when it was having a bear cycle and a super downtrend. I just kept buying long call options, just kept expiring worthless, just in the tunes of thousands and thousands of dollars. It was incredible, man. I just kept saying, this next week, this will be the one. And it just never was until I finally ran out of money, got a margin call, had to sell like Tesla shares at a super low price, like, oh man, like $100 and something, like before the split.
Yeah, which is crazy now. I mean, post split.
Yeah. By the way, we just had our close. Here we go. Oh, the next daily candle is already shooting up. So we closed at 23,000 Well, it says here 23,805. So there must have been some gyrations right there at the very end of the day, if I'm looking at this right. Oh, you know what? Am I wrong about the time that Bitcoin closes? Man, I've started about to feel like an idiot here on live stream.
No. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock on the East Coast, 5 o'clock on the West Coast.
I think it closed an hour ago. We're in the next day's candle. All right, people. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, Bitcoin is super bullish, and we are above my Fibonacci extension line. That seems to have been a significant line because we've been bouncing all around it, and that line is the price on that line is.
Hey, so what was the close today? Let's see if we can establish what time the daily close
23,700 basically. Yeah, is
Okay.
that Fibonacci line. But yeah, the close. All right, let me get that. Here we go. I'm doing this on my phone because I haven't been able to log into TradingView on Chrome. So the close was 23,805.
Okay.
That's on by the way, that's on the BitMEX exchange. So it'll be a little different depending on whichever exchange you look at. A lot of people suggest to do the Bitstamp exchange because it has one of the longest histories of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I used to have it. Some of my stuff set to Bitstamp.
Well, that's just because you're an OG.
Right now, I'm being lazy and just looking on CoinMarketCap, and current number there is 23,936.
All right, for the close.
No, for like right now.
For the right now, okay,
Yeah.
right on 23,915 on BitMEX or
Okay.
whatever this one is.
Yeah. Oh, so
Exchange.
close was 23,783, at least according to
Right
CoinMarketCap.
on. Well, apparently on all exchanges, we closed higher than what Tom Vase says would be his dividing line for being short-term bullish. So he said he's going to continue holding his GBTC. I will be surprised if he holds it more than one more day. You know, the way he trades, and something I'm going to look into, by the way, is he has created for himself a retirement account, an IRA, retirement IRA, and he trades GBTC within the retirement IRA, and he basically goes all in and just hopes to profit like 20 or 30%, and gets out, and that's it. Like, he does that a few times a year and just grows his retirement portfolio because doing it this way, it's tax free, and will be tax free as well until, I guess, he closes it at a certain age. So it's not like money that he can touch anytime soon. And then on top of like trading in that IRA, and see, now I trade crypto on Robinhood for fun and things. I mean, even though it's just for fun, I'm growing that account, doing it, by hundreds and thousands of dollars. So it's no joke, but it is just for fun. Because, if you really are into crypto, if you're a real Bitcoiner, you want to cold wallet your crypto. You want to get it off of the exchange.
Yeah, you certainly don't want it sitting on a Robinhood.
Well,
long term.
I mean, yeah, you don't have any choice about that. Now, Robinhood is the custodian for 100% of the crypto that gets traded on their platform.
So if you, I don't have any crypto on Robinhood and never have. So if you do crypto on Robinhood, you can't take the crypto off of Robinhood, right? You have to sell and then take your, dollars off.
That's right. Everything's cash settled regarding crypto and Robinhood. And also with the stocks, Robinhood really is the custodian of your shares as well. So, for example, when I used to have Tesla shares on Robinhood, I still have a few, but when I used to have like a large amount of Tesla shares on Robinhood, I tried to become part of that Say group where you could ask questions during the shareholders meeting using the online tool called say.com. You have your say, but you have to be a shareholder. You have to be able to prove you're a shareholder. And as a Robinhood shareholder, I was unable to do that because Robinhood is the custodian of those shares.
Right.
I'm not able to put those certificates in my top drawer. Robinhood has them in their top drawer. See how that works. So even though I got wrecked in Tesla and lost most of those shares, it was fine because I was trying to get off of Robinhood anyway. I'm not justifying getting wrecked. People don't get wrecked. That should be your number one motto in life and in finance. Mm-hmm. I repurchased shares again with my brokerage. So, fortunately I did that. I mean, it was through bitter tears and humiliation, but I did that. And now I'm dancing every day and just thrilled with the outcome. Holy moly. And Elon Musk has been talking Bitcoin this week on Twitter.
Oh, has he?
Oh yeah, he's been having a tweet storm. Some of it trolling and some of it not so trolling after all, because he's been having personal back and forth Twitter conversation with Michael Sager, the CEO of MicroStrategies, who's been very vocal in the last few weeks, especially on a few YouTube videos. Hyperchange did a interview with him. He did an interview with several others, prominent YouTubers, and wow. Like that video with Hyperchange, that interview, like I'm a Bitcoiner, I'm in Bitcoin. I have a lot of, I have my little stash of Bitcoin sitting at the bottom of a lake in a cold storage wallet.
Mm-hmm. Tragic boating accident.
It is.
I mean, it was really tragic.
I know, man, every day, a little tear. But anyway, I'm not someone that's easy to FOMO into Bitcoin. I've already been through that. I already went through the process of selling anything and everything I possibly could to get enough cash to buy some. I went through that back in 2017, and oh my God.
Yeah, and a whole new batch of people are probably going to go through that again. I don't know.
Man, the FOMO is real, especially after I watched this video of my.
But I'm not feeling the FOMO yet. I mean, not for myself. I'm not seeing other people FOMOing in yet the way I did in 2017.
You're right. I don't think so.
Early in the FOMO cycle this time.
Man, yeah, I think we are, but that video, when I watched it and I listened to him make the case saying that we have this $500 million sitting on our balance sheet for MicroStrategies, and it's just sitting there melting away like an ice cube because of inflation, and the way they calculated it, the inflation was going to be a certain percentage every year. That, according to their calculations, meant that like within 3 years, that money was going to lose about half of its value, like 3.5 years or something like that. And they said, what can we do with this money instead of just let it sit here and waste away? And after looking at all of the financial tools and vehicles that are available to them that they could put that money in order to get a little bit better return than losing money due to inflation, they settled on Bitcoin. And their first tranche of Bitcoin purchasing was $500 million, and they've done several since. And the value of their Bitcoin portfolio is way up since they started. I think like something to the tune of 80%.
Yeah.
And you're just not going to find those returns on anything except for Tesla,
no.
In the stock market. No, I'm wrong about that. There's plenty of things in the stock market that moves in giant percentages, but a lot of that stuff's just speculative pumping.
Yeah, exactly. At least in terms of anything anybody's really heard of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
versus
this isn't.
My penny stock, shitcoin equivalent went up, however much. Yeah.
And Tesla, by the way, this is not the first time Tesla is 10x'd. I mean, back when we were looking at Tesla in the 300s, pre-split, it had already 10x'd at that point. Will it 10x again? I don't know. It's hard to say, but their market cap at the inclusion in the S&P is around $600 billion. That's less than $1 trillion. I think definitely it's $1 trillion company. I think it's definitely a $2 trillion company given a little bit more time. I think given a little more time, if they're able to pull off this robo-taxi network, if the insurance company works out well, if they just keep executing on the things that they've done, I think a $3 trillion company isn't out of the question.
Yeah.
And
so
man,
by way of comparison, not that this is comparing Bitcoin and Tesla is by any means like a direct comparison, because obviously stock versus alternative currency, but Bitcoin's current market cap is 445 billion.
Is the race on for market cap?
Yeah, possibly.
Between
well,
Tesla's
winning that. Yeah,
well, now what if Elon buys Bitcoin with that $20 billion Tesla now has sitting on their balance sheet?
Oh,
now he and Michael have been having that back and forth, and basically what he said on Twitter to Elon, after joking a little bit and trolling and so forth with his Bitcoin tweets, asks the serious question: is it even possible to move that amount of money? Good question, Elon. When it comes to Bitcoin, yes, you can move your billions. And Michael replied to Elon in the tweet and says, yes, you can, absolutely. Contact me personally. I'll show you my playbook. And that was the end of the conversation on Twitter. Wonder if it continued elsewhere. $20 billion on their balance sheet. I mean, just say they put $5 billion into Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That moves the market cap. What do they say with Bitcoin? Every dollar you put in, what is it? How much does it move the market cap? It's not a 1-for-1.
Elon is looking to be the new Bitcoin whale. Maybe.
Oh my God, dude, I so hope. Man, I'm just crossing my fingers and praying that the stars continue to align and Elon gets his super Bitcoin powers. Nothing.
Yeah, perhaps he will know. I was just looking at.
I could tell you were looking at something. No. Totally missed my Elon Wakanda joke.
Oh yeah. Elon is totally from Wakanda.
And man, the way the CEO of MicroStrategies is talking about Bitcoin, and if Elon and Tesla buy Bitcoin, everyone will buy Bitcoin. Okay, you wanted to know, when does the FOMO start? Because it doesn't really feel like
it doesn't feel like 2017 FOMO yet.
I mean, dude, we had like a $3,000 day in Bitcoin, but I agree, it still doesn't feel like what I felt in 2017. I mean, I saw a video of a guy in 2017 screaming at the top of his lungs, literally at the video going, "This is it. This is the time. Mortgage your house." I mean, and I was listening to that going like, he might be right, man. I better sell some stuff. I mean, I was looking at anything and everything I could sell to raise money to buy Bitcoin at that point. I mean, I wasn't going to mortgage anything. Didn't have anything to mortgage at that point. But man, yeah, I just didn't think I could get caught up in FOMO. And when I'm listening to these guys talk about it, it's just like I find myself going on Robinhood and buying more Dogecoin.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a Doge party this week.
Yeah, there was. There was.
We're not in like full alt season by any means, but yeah, Dogecoin and a lot of these kind of major alts are up a little bit too. Litecoin has been up, and so.
Well, man, I know you've been in this game longer than Anarcho Jesus has, so I just I haven't ever really asked, like, what was it? When was the first time you heard about cryptocurrencies?
Oh, the first time I absolutely can remember hearing about it. I won't say the event. I mean, God, we're so easily doxable, but we'll make it too easy by actually saying events we've been to. But True the first time I absolutely can definitely remember hearing of Bitcoin was an event that we were at in fall 2011. So, and kick myself for not having paid more attention at that one.
Yeah. You mean you would have been mining if you had
I don't know if it may have already been too late just for normal people to mine even then.
2011. I mean, I guess it had been
late 2011.
3-4 years at that point.
Yeah, well, it had been going on 3 years. The Genesis block is January 2009.
Okay.
And Bitcoin Pizza Day is maybe spring 2010. By 2011, I think early 2011 was like its first real big, like huge attention grabbing surge. And I think I quieted it down again in late 2011.
Not to rush past Bitcoin Pizza Day. And just for those of you who don't know what that is, I mean, anyone that's into crypto kind of knows what that is. It's a momentous occasion where an early Bitcoiner paid $10,000 for 2 pizzas.
Yeah.
Sorry. Now I just misspoke. Sorry. 10,000 Bitcoins.
10,000 Bitcoin for 2 medium pizzas from Papa John's, I think. That's some other guy on Bitcoin Talk, gave to him.
And in those early days, I'm sure it was just kind of like people that had been mining Bitcoin and had so much of it because it wasn't really worth much of anything at that point. And they just wanted to promote the network.
Yeah, they wanted to demonstrate that, yes, we can use this as an alternative currency. So this is, it was slightly over a year out from the Genesis block. So we're into kind of maybe, I think, spring, probably 2010 at that point. And, this is the first known purchase made with Bitcoin.
That was the first known purchase.
Yeah. Bitcoin Pizza Day, first known purchase of anything with Bitcoin.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did that purchase actually make it into the blockchain?
I'm sure it did. I mean, anything with Bitcoin is on the blockchain.
Huh. Yeah, I mean,
and to this day, I mean, you can find the Bitcoin Talk thread of the original Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff's still out there.
Oh man, that's so cool.
10 years later.
Well, I know Satoshi embedded certain little Easter eggs in the blockchain early on. I guess the first transaction in the Bitcoin blockchain was a reference to an article about the Greece financial crisis.
It was about bailouts back in the days of the bank bailouts during the Great Recession era crash.
Oh, that's right. And then it was sorry, I was confusing. It was about the bailouts with the 2008 financial crisis. Yeah, and Obama's gigantic bulging stimulus.
Yeah, but this was about the UK specifically, and I think it may well have been about the Greece bailouts in the EU. I forget which one, but it was a reference to the bank bailouts that were going on at the time.
Yeah. Well, that is so cool, man. I got to learn how to embed stuff in the blockchain, just for fun. I guess watch Ivan on Tech for that. Learn how to program. Well, I mean, I first heard about Bitcoin, I guess around that same time. It was a time where people were meeting up locally, for Ron Paul activism, and it was somebody in one of those meetings, or something was said in the meeting, and that was the beginnings of it, where I just heard about this competing currency. And I thought to myself, because at that time I was really big on competing currencies, I thought that Ron Paul should have emphasized that more in his platform, because it was something that was mentioned in passing. But if you really look into it, competing currencies could be a major key to unlock massive reform in financial markets. And at the time, Ron Paul was all about the gold standard. And
Well, and of course he still is, and we're still all about gold. But
he is,
yeah.
but he's also open.
But he's also warmed up to crypto over the
He
years.
has, yeah, much more than say like a Peter Schiff,
right?
Who I guess till this day still wakes up every single day wrong about Bitcoin.
Yep,
and gold for that matter.
Well, gold made all-time high this year. It's sunk back down a little bit, but I mean, gold is still doing very well for 2020.
Sounds like someone has something vested.
Well, yeah. And I mean, all of these things, I mean, they're just tragic boating accidents. I mean, don't you hate it when boats don't work out and they, yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
But no, I mean, the era that you're talking about, like at the old Ron Paul meetups, we had a guy, again, we're not gonna name drop specifics here too much.
Well,
but
you could make up an avatar name for him. Maybe I could decode it.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
Yoga Boy?
but I can't think of a fun
Yoga Boy?
Yeah, it was Yoga Boy. Yeah.
Cool.
So he would do TA at our events and basically, demonstrate that gold was going to 10,000, which it has not done.
Please, I pray for it every day.
I pray for it too. Yeah, absolutely. But little did we know what was really going to 10,000 and far beyond.
Was that sweet, sweet God's anointed crypto?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And I was such an idiot that I would talk about Bitcoin at meetups because I would say, "Oh, here's an example of a competing currency." I'd be talking about competing currencies. I talk to people in the streets. Oh yeah, look into Bitcoin. There's a competing currency to the U.S. dollar right there. And so dumb. In fact, so dense, so incredibly slow. I waited until 2014 to have the opportunity to acquire my first Bitcoin. And at that time,
oh yes, and you
remember that?
Yeah, you chose not to do that. There was a certain
YouTuber that I was producing for, and
right, who
quite
owed
popular
you
at the time, not so much anymore.
But at the time, he owed you some Federal Reserve notes for the help you were giving him. And
That's right. That's right.
I guess he did not have those Federal Reserve notes.
Well, no, the check bounced.
And offered you silver or Bitcoin.
After the check bounced, he was just like, well, the guy that was running my finances didn't do it right. So, but here's what I can do for you. I've got this bag of junk silver and I've got some Bitcoin. So, at that time, Bitcoin was about $600, and that just so happened to be what he owed me. And he's like, so you can take the one Bitcoin or the bag of silver. So let me tell you how genius I was. I took the silver, and
silver's barely moved since then.
Barely. It's up a little, but barely.
Yeah, it's up a little bit, but not really.
But Bitcoin from 600, it is what? Hang on a second. Let me see if Siri can help me out here.
Get the exact number.
Let me see. How would I ask? It's like you can give Siri word problems, and she can solve for the math. Would be like, what is? And by the way, it's supposedly a rule of live streaming, never do math on air. Sorry guys, I've broken the rule. But 600 is what percent of 24,000?
That would be 2.5%.
I did that wrong.
No, you totally did that wrong. I never remember how to do the math on this. So no, you do it. It goes the other way. You have to divide.
Oh, okay. 24,000. Just rounding up. Well, it's up 40 times. I mean, if that means anything. So 40x, I think that did a little better than silver, and yeah, I waited. Let me tell you how incredibly slow I continued to be for years after that. I didn't even bother to look at the price of Bitcoin for a long time. It was.
Well, after that, it was pretty boring for a long time. Like,
oh, was it?
If it was 600 in 2014 when he was offering you that, it kept going down from there. 2014 was basically 2018. That was a long, brutal slide.
And where did it end?
Then 2015, it stabilized in around 200 something basically all year.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and then that's where my analysis on what's happening right now starts to come in. It was like in 2016 when the chart begins to break towards new all-time highs, and you see on the weekly chart the RSI breaks to the bullish control zone. Some people call it the oversold area, but it's not that. On the weekly chart, it's totally a bullish control zone. It's not oversold. It's blue skies is what that is. And what we saw when it first broke that area on the RSI, broke out to new all-time highs up to 1300. Sorry, 1300.
Yep. In early 2017, it finally broke its previous all-time high from late 2013.
That's right. So go back and look at the chart at in early 2017 when the Bitcoin price broke out and reached 1300. And it had a pretty brutal pullback from 1300 as well, but it didn't last very long. Like it didn't last long, and then it was back to the races, to all-time highs above 1300, and it took off so dramatically from there. In fact, that for years, Tone Vays was looking for Bitcoin price to come back and retest 1300 once again.
Yeah, and it never did.
It never did. It never did. So for all you gap boys out there that like to do gap analysis, doesn't always work. There's been several times in the Bitcoin chart where there's gaps. Of course, who's to say that Bitcoin doesn't sometime in the far-flung future get replaced by something much better, 1,000 years from now, and then it goes back down to zero or something like that.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about in our immediate lifetimes. So yeah, seems like things are doing pretty well. I just I didn't catch the FOMO until 2017 when a lot of other people did. And as I've said before, if it weren't for the inefficiency of Coinbase's platform at that time, I would have bought the top. I really would have. I would have bought that $20,000 top, but couldn't get my money cleared fast enough, so I had to settle for like 10K. That's my Bitcoin story. And since then, yeah, it's been a long learning process. I mean, it seems to me, and here it is, a little advice for those of you out there if you're thinking about getting into this game. If you're thinking about investing in Bitcoin or crypto in general, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, I have to throw my dog in there. There's this phase that everyone seems to go through where they kind of FOMO into it in the beginning, and they come in a little bit too late, and they go in a little bit too hard. You put a little bit too much money into something you didn't know about, and you did it a little bit too quickly, and were a little bit misguided in doing so. And then you wait because you enter a bear market. And it could go on for years. In fact, this last one has gone on for 3 years. And during that time, you discover all the YouTubers, you discover all the analysts out there. You start reading CoinDesk. You start learning how to analyze the blockchain and the network, and you learn everything because you have all this time. And by the time the bull market gets going again, you're a veteran. You've been through it.
And then you tell the next generation of people who FOMO'd in, I remember 2017.
That's right. That's right.
Not only do I remember 2017, I remember 2018 and the bloodbath.
That's right. Oh, man. The bloodbath. That's the other side of the chart. Oh, let me pull it back up again. I have it here. Let's see. Boom. So This chart in the background of the thumbnail is the actual weekly chart of Bitcoin. So you can see.
Oh,
there.
yeah. Going back to 2017.
Yes. So back here, yeah, you can see here's 2018 and there's September. And then, yeah, back here is 2017. So this is the bull run. And I basically discovered Bitcoin. I rediscovered it. I discovered trading Bitcoin. I discovered, it's like all those years I knew about Bitcoin, I never once asked, how do I get some? All those years I knew about it and telling people about it, I never once Googled and said, how do I buy some? How do I mine some? Never happened. I heard it was too late to mine it, so I just never bothered to ask. By the way, it wasn't too late, and it's still not. It's just complex. That's all. It's a whole different way to get into.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we were talking in comparison to, Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Yeah,
back when that guy was probably mining it on his laptop.
Right. And by the way, the 21 million Bitcoin limit, the scarcity, it's more than that. I mean, the scarcity is more than that. There's millions of Bitcoin in landfill right now that will never, ever be sold on an open market ever again because it's on a laptop in a landfill. There's people out there, they're dumpster diving for laptops in landfills and they're looking for specific models from that 2008, 2009, 2010 era so that they can do the dirty work of trying to find lost Bitcoin. I mean, they're diving through landfills like they're digging for gold, like literally panning for gold, but they're just diving through rubble trying to find laptops and hard drives. And good luck to you people out there. I'm not suggesting that that's the way to go. Coinbase, PayPal now. You can buy your Bitcoin on PayPal, the Cash App. There's so many on-ramps now that exist that didn't exist in 2017 when I FOMO'd. And for those of you that are going to be FOMOing soon, my advice to you would be don't wait for the FOMO. Start now. Just start developing a position for yourself now. Don't overcomplicate things. Just dollar cost average. I'm going to put a couple $100 every week into this asset, and I'm going to accumulate it over the next 6 months. $1,000 a month, whatever it is, 2,000 a month, 2,000 a week if you can afford it. There were times where, when I was first investing in Tesla, it was entire paychecks because I was getting started a little bit later in life. I wasn't starting like Warren Buffett when I was 10 or 11 years old. I'm getting started in my 30s at the time. So I had to make up for lost time. So entire paychecks, if you can afford it. And because you're only building for yourself a future. Now, of course, this isn't financial advice or anything like that. This is what I did.
Yeah. And the old saying of only do what you can afford to lose.
Absolutely.
Speaking of afford it, always applies.
Yeah. I never put money into any of these assets that I couldn't afford, except for that year when I was being an idiot doing the long calls on Tesla.
On Tesla, yeah.
Because I was taking out margin in order to buy the long calls. I just thought it was for sure. One of them's got to hit. If just one of them hits, man, it was straight up Las Vegas style
gambler's
gambling.
Fallacy, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And it really was. And it took a lot of therapy for me to come to that, by the way. It was a process for me to come to the realization that I was just being a gambler, even though it was an asset that totally is a winner, even though I was totally right, except my timing was way off. Well, not even way off. Had I done that very same thing 6 months later, I'd be a genius. But the thing is, I'd also probably have become an arrogant prick. It might have changed me. It might have made me overconfident, and then I would have later lost it all.
Good point. Yeah.
So the humility that was brought through the failures of 2018 really gave me a mind. And then also I was in that bear market of Bitcoin at the same time, just watching all this money go away, man, in my life. And, that brings humility and a new perspective. It brings, I used to pay lip service to risk management, but not really practicing what I was thinking I was preaching, but didn't really understand myself. And now I understand, risk management. I used to think to myself, it's so easy. Why don't people invest? I mean, just start putting your paychecks into Tesla and you'll do so well. But there's this thing about it.
The famous South Park clip, and it's gone.
Yeah, man. I mean, and if you had been doing that, like when I was doing long call options in 2018, you would have definitely saw that money going down, even if you had just straight up bought the shares. Yeah. And there were people that did that. Friends of mine, it was a really tumultuous time for Tesla investors. Elon announced that he wanted to bring the company private and that funding was secured at 420. And there was these Saudi Arabian investors that were interested in helping him to bring Tesla private. And the stock went up to its all-time high. I remember the day it was announced, and it went up to like $390, an all-time high at that time. This is all pre-split. I mean, post-split, that would be like $30 or something. But well, no, 60. It'd be $60. Yeah. 300 would be 60, so it'd be like 60, $65. So when it hit that new all-time high and all this news was coming out so fast, I was at Disneyland with friends. I just couldn't really interpret what I was seeing. I just thought it would moon. So it was at that point when it dipped, at that first dip, I bought those long call options. I was like, okay, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to catch it on the way up. I'm going to buy that dip and catch it. And then those expired. And then the next round happened again and those expired. And then it just kept tanking for months and months. Like Tesla stock is much as it's like the twilight, it's like the star of stocks of Wall Street right now. It is the coveted stock that everyone seems to want to own, and some just reluctantly have to buy because of this S&P inclusion. It wasn't always like that. And man, when it was going down, it was something else, man. It just seemed like it would never stop. And it came to a point to where it seemed like the company might really go bankrupt, that the things the short sellers had been saying and predicting for years might actually come true. And it was rough when Tesla hit $150, after that 390 all-time high. So it lost over 50% of its value.
I was like, is this ever going to 420?
Yeah, I was just beside myself, and I finally gave up the gambling and so forth. And at that point, the stock started to recover. Yeah, and then I just bought the shares straight up. I'm just like, all right, I'm not using margin. I'm not playing games. I'm going to use my own money. I'm going to have to sell some Apple, buy Tesla, and I just kept doing that, selling Apple, buying Tesla, as it was going all the way back up again. And at some point, I just said, all right, I'm hodling, and my God, it mooned like I've never seen anything except Bitcoin moon, and it's happy days, man. I'm so blessed. Thank you, Jesus. And thank you, brother. And now Bitcoin once again at all-time highs. Just couldn't be happier. Nice. As far as that goes. And I want you people to be happy too, but no matter what, if I tell you not to FOMO, no, don't wait till Bitcoin is $30,000 where you're going to end up buying a top. Okay. Don't wait till Bitcoin's $50,000 where you're going to be buying another top. Okay. Just
do it now. The FOMO hasn't started yet. This run is, again, not financial advice from us, but
I would do it now.
But this run does not seem like it's over by a long shot. So, do it now. Don't do it. Don't wait till 50,000.
And Tom Vase finally came around, in my opinion. He gave up on the 13,000 pullback a couple of weeks ago, and what I heard him say is that if today's candle closes above 13,600, which it did, and he becomes short-term bullish again, he expects things will play out the price should go to 30,000 before the pullback, and when it pulls back, it probably pulls back somewhere in the $20,000 range. So we may never see the, at least during this bull cycle, we may never see Bitcoin below 20,000 again, which sounds weird to hear those words coming out of my mouth.
But hey, think about how weird it would have sounded, say, whenever it broke 1,300 in early 2017. Imagine having this conversation in April 2017 and being like, hey, I don't think it's ever going under 1,300 ever again. And how crazy that must have sounded back then.
I mean, technical analysis does help, and it's good to learn it, and you should learn how to trade and use technical analysis and so forth, and fundamental analysis. But Bitcoin breaks the rules. They don't always apply when you're looking at the charts of Bitcoin. Tyler Jenks is, God rest his soul, was one of Tom Vase's mentors and the discoverer, of hyperwave. And hyperwave says, basically it defines a bubble pattern, but in a very particular type of way. Is what the hyperwave is. It has 7 phases of the cycle, of the hyperwave cycle. 7 phases, where phase 1 through 4 are the bullish phases, the exponential accelerating phases, until it finally has the blow off top. Wave 5 is where it breaks down, and wave 6 is where it bounces back up again, and tries to reclaim that all-time high, but it never can. It can't quite get back up there again. And then wave 7 is that long trip back to the beginning. According to Tyler and according to the hyperwave theory, that long trek back to the beginning would have had Bitcoin back at $1,000. So the discussion Tone Vase and Tyler was having back when he was alive was, will Bitcoin hit 1,300 or 1,000? And Bitcoin decided it wasn't going to do either. So Tone Vase has come up with a new rule, and that is the rule of, if hyperwave breaks, if a hyperwave phase 7 does not go back to the beginning, and the asset is able to reclaim all-time highs once again, it's at the point that the all-time high is reclaimed that the hyperwave is reset. So we've reset the hyperwave in the last month or two. According to Tone, now this is his expanded theory, based on Tyler's work.
Yeah.
But expanding it into
clearly
crypto.
We're in undiscovered territory at this point, whether hyperwave, is true or not here.
Yeah, that's right. This is undiscovered territory. It's the undiscovered country.
Oh, right. That was a Star Trek movie. Actually, a pretty good one.
Yeah. That's the one with Spock's brother, right?
No, that's not the one with Spock's brother. That's a really bad one. Undiscovered Country is the one after that. That's the one where they make peace with the Klingons, and Kirk and McCoy, I think, are on like a gulag planet, basically. Yeah, I forgot the details. It's been forever since I saw any of these. But speaking of old school sci-fi franchises, should we wind down the night by briefly talking about Star Trek, Star Wars? Yeah,
Star Wars. I do, but right before then, I just want to put you on the spot. You sent me a link to an article earlier today, and I just thought maybe you wanted to say a few words about it before we talk about spoilers in Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think like 5 or 6 senators voted against the bulging stimulus package over the weekend or last night. Our man Rand Paul was one of the 5 or 6 who voted against it, and is just kind of calling it out as the big mess that it is, and pointing out that Republicans talk a good game about spending and being responsible and not doing things like that, but when push comes to shove, they're just as bad as the Democrats. With a few exceptions, Rand Paul, obviously, and his 4 or 5 colleagues who voted against this thing being among them.
And as I understand it, this latest lawsuit that Trump has presented to the Supreme Court, could maybe that has nothing to do with it, but there's going to come a point where senators have to make a decision whether or not to throw out certain aspects of the election, like say Pennsylvania, for example. I think is what Rand Paul was really focusing in on, and the Trump administration is as well. And so it's a long shot, but if the senators say, hey, you know, we got to throw certain aspects out, gives Mike Pence the opportunity to say, you know, sorry guys, it didn't go the way you thought it did. Trump won.
Yeah, well, we're talking extreme long shot here. We're talking like Dogecoin to $10 level long shot.
Oh man, did it have to be like $10? Couldn't you just say $1?
$1? Okay, fine, $1.
$1. Yeah, I mean, because it's not like that's going to happen next week either.
Yeah,
but it might. You know, we've seen Doge pump. All right.
Yeah.
Star Wars talk. So people, listen. If you have not seen and are caught up with the Mandalorian series on Disney Plus, then this is the part where you're going to want to maybe drop off. Not that there's any of you out there really listening at this time anyway. But for those of you that are watching the replay, welcome. Forgot that part in the intro.
Yeah,
so,
maybe we should go back to doing these on Sundays.
Here's the thing,
in terms of an audience. Yeah,
I set up this live stream like days ago, and then I changed it on the YouTube, and with StreamYard, it seemed to be a conflict. So I don't know if like notifications actually went out to anybody. And besides, it seems that we're shadow banned. I do see that there's one viewer out there. Maybe give us a thumbs up in the comment if you're able to, just to let us know you're with us. And let us know if you have purchased any crypto at all. So, you know, sometimes people say spoiler warning and you're like, yeah, whatever. Go ahead and give me the spoilers because I'm sure it's nothing. You know, I'm sure it's not really anything that's going to affect my world whatsoever. So go on ahead and spoil it. And a lot of people feel that way. I've felt that way, especially when it comes to Disney Star Wars because of how badly they've ruined it. I'm like, spoil away, you know. But I'm telling you right now, and this is your last warning, this is a spoiler that is of cultural significance that you do not want to have spoiled if you are at all a Star Wars fan. So you have been warned. And we are going to begin this conversation in 3, 2, 1. Luke Skywalker is back. Oh my God. Wow, dude, did you see what I saw on that episode? That finale of The Mandalorian?
Yeah, I did. And I guess it makes kind of plot sense in terms of where they are in the timeline for Luke to show up, because at that point, like,
they would do it.
Luke really is the only Jedi at that point. I mean, he's really rebuilding the Jedi from scratch.
Depends on if you're an old school Star Wars fan or if you're more of a prequel Clone Wars era Star Wars fan.
Well, I've not watched any of like the Clone Wars cartoons or anything. So for me, canon, my Star Wars knowledge is honestly limited to the movies and to the Mandalorian.
Right. That does make sense if that's all you've ever really kind of got into. That makes total sense that you wouldn't be as surprised if you hadn't watched the Clone Wars. You weren't really aware of Ahsoka. I mean, you saw Ahsoka in the episodes in the Ahsoka episode, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's her name, right?
But she's not a Jedi per se. Like, she does Jedi stuff. She's strong in the Force.
As I recall, like, you sent me like basically a quick summary of like the Ahsoka storyline before the season came out, so that I would be prepared. Now it's coming back to me. Yeah,
it was a montage, but you know, it's one of those things like, if you really want to get the story, you got to watch Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah,
it's like multiple seasons, and not all the episodes are really all that easy to watch. And I hear that the first season is kind of hard to get through.
I'm glad you prepared me a little bit for the season of The Mandalorian by giving me her backstory without actually me having to go and watch like the whole Clone Wars cartoon.
Well, I love it when YouTubers take the time to go through and make a montage.
Yeah,
we'll pull all the clips, and you know, when they do it well. I mean, sometimes it's not done so well, but And I should have done it myself, because what we're about to do is take a look at some people reacting to the Mandalorian season finale, and we'll react to them reacting. But I probably should have made a montage out of it. But man, that takes a long time to edit, and it's not something I have an abundance of these days. But I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Let me see how I can. Hang on a second. Shucking and jiving here. Oh, okay. That's right. All right. So I have a playlist of a few reactions. We're gonna start with this dude right here. Yes, we are. Oops. All right, there it is. So let me share this out. This is something new because I'm using Chrome, Darth Yoda. So we weren't able to do this before. Last time we streamed.
There we go.
Oh, can you hear that? You can't hear that though.
No, I didn't hear the audio.
Here, I think I skipped a step. Let me try again. All right, so I'm gonna screen share. Yep, Chrome tab. Boom, share audio. There it is. Boom. All right. Now, can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. This guy is a Star Wars fan, an old school Star Wars fan who records reaction videos. And here is some of his reaction to The Mandalorian. Man, I hope I don't cry. I get so touched by people being touched by this, because it touched me so much. I mean, I just did not think that they would do it. I just did not think. I mean, after everything that Disney has given us with Star Wars and and how far they seem to have gone out of their way to humiliate all the legacy characters. I mean, I for sure thought it'd be Ahsoka or Ezra or one of the other Jedis from Clone Wars. I mean, I saw the X-Wing and I'm like, it might be, but I just couldn't believe it until I finally saw that green. Here we go. Let's just
rapid reaction to The Mandalorian chapter 16.
I'm going to skip ahead
finale of
to the good part.
Happy ending, sad ending, Return of the Jedi. Are you a Jedi?
Okay. Okay. All right. Here we are. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
What? 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 What?
Why did they stop?
I was like, it's Ahsoka. And then I saw that and I'm like, oh my God. I was like the African, oh my God, meme guy. I was like, oh my God. Wow. Dude, all the trauma we went through coming out of this guy right now.
He's releasing it all here.
Years suppression. All the pain that Rian Johnson inflicted on all of us Luke Skywalker fans. Being released. Healed. Do you hear the healing?
Yeah. This is a real breakthrough for this guy.
The glove.
I mean, the design, the look, the feel. This is my Luke. I was like, not only did they do it, they did it right. Holy crap. Yeah, that's how powerful he would have been after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
I was watching it and I was like, that's it. That's the son of Vader right there. That's the son of Anakin.
And yeah, and you even get R2-D2 here as like a little extra.
So good.
Yeah.
I can't believe how good it is. I'm like watching this season going, how are they doing this?
Yeah, so it's really well done. Like, and having Luke come in here fits really well with.
Wow, this guy's face when he saw Luke's face.
Yeah.
Are you a Jedi?
I am.
How did you feel when you saw that?
Well, I
That's
don't
really
think.
Mark Hamill too, by the way.
Come, little one.
Was it?
Yeah, I don't know about the hallway scene. If that was, might have been, but definitely with him in the standing there, speaking with the Mandalorian. That's Mark Hamill.
I promise.
No.
Such a touching scene here too. I'm going to pull up another one though.
Yeah.
Here, let that continue.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's pick our favorite. Find a favorite because I do have to wind it down for the night here
All right,
shortly.
one more then. One more.
GIF.
Yeah. So again, not having seen the Clone Wars and everything, seeing Luke show up fits perfectly in with where the timeline should be in the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So we
5
don't have the Fallen from Grace Luke yet at this point in universe.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, man. You're so black pill. You just always gotta spoil everything.
Well, okay.
You
Sorry,
know.
spoilers for anybody who has not seen the sequel trilogy.
Not spoilers in that sense, but just you bring up Jake Skywalker and in the sequel trilogy and where all of this eventually seems to be headed, right? But man, there is a possibility that, I mean, come on, if Disney's paying any attention and they're seeing how people are reacting to this. Now, I mean, dude, think back to the trailer for The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how excited people were when they heard Luke Skywalker's voice?
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing people reacting to that trailer going, "It's Luke motherfucking Skywalker," and just like going nuts because they thought they were going to get a chance to see Luke Skywalker again.
Yeah,
And
and
of
they
course
see him for 10 seconds at the end, which,
10
fine,
seconds at the end.
It's a cliffhanger. Okay.
And people are already just like, wow, even that, like people are such fans of Luke Skywalker. Even just that was enough to have them holding on. I mean, I bought shares in Disney. I thought The Last Jedi is going to be the best Star Wars movie ever. It's going to be the return of Luke Skywalker, what we've been waiting for 40 years. And we get green titty milk and humiliation and a loser who decides to let his friends just flap in the breeze instead of helping them. The cynical, pessimistic Jake Skywalker. And it was really traumatizing. I sold all my Disney shares after watching that movie. And I didn't buy Disney shares back again until the big crash in March.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe they'll do a kind of a Star Trek route with that, and those movies will be considered like some alternate timeline.
Well, that's
like
the thing. They
just
have
like the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies were.
Yeah. No, you're onto something. And because you haven't seen Rebels or the Clone Wars, I'm not sure which series it was in. There is a story with Ahsoka about a thing known as the Veil of the Force. Did you hear anything about that?
Nope.
So this is canon because it was one of the animated series. And Ahsoka was able to, I haven't seen all of that yet either, by the way. So I'm only speaking of what I've heard, not what I know from having seen it. But Ahsoka apparently uses something called the Veil of the Force and changed some history. It was like a bit of time travel without it being time travel. It was more a force ability through this thing known as the Veil of the Force. Now, in the Ahsoka series that was announced for Disney Plus just last week, the logo for the Ahsoka series is the Veil of the Force.
Oh, interesting.
Right? And guess who's writing that show currently? Dave Filoni. And Dave Filoni, I guess he's the creator of Ahsoka. He's the protege of George Lucas. George Lucas took him under his wing and through the whole process of being a filmmaker, of becoming a filmmaker, because they approached those TV series as one would approach making a movie. And so Dave Filoni is, he's the man, and he's writing it, and he's the one. If anyone can do it, he can. I mean, it's like, help us, Dave Filoni. You're our only hope. And but right now we can see that also Jon Favreau is a boss.
Yeah. All right, so I gotta wrap up here. It's getting late out here tonight.
All right, Darth Yoda.
Yeah.
Right on, my brother. I'm gonna drop you off the stream, and I'm gonna continue with this one reaction, because this is something amazing, and I'll send it to you in the private chat later.
All right, cool.
Check it out. All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, good night, man.
Peace. So here we go, people. Check this out. If I can bring it back up, let's see. Here it is. Boom.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Boba Fett?
She thought it was Boba Fett.
What is an X-ray? They are just stupid.
Incoming craft
It's not Luke Skywalker. It's not like they're going to save anything.
Right there. That's exactly how I felt. It's like, X-Wing. Okay, yeah, they're just baiting us once again. I mean, I knew it was Jon Favreau. I know that he's not Rian Johnson, but the trauma that we experienced over how they treated Luke Skywalker in that movie, I mean, it runs deep. So yeah, I totally feel what she's saying there. It's like, it's not like they're going to actually fix anything. It's not like they're going to give Luke Skywalker any kind of real respect. I mean, they haven't so far.
Oh. Somebody save the baby.
Somebody save the baby.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so stressful.
Poor lady has to smoke a cigarette to calm her nerves.
Why did they stop?
By the way, the music.
John, I'm getting chills.
I just got to say, man, what an amazing job they did with the music. I mean, everything really about this sequence, what they've done, but the subtlety of it. Like you can start to hear the Luke Skywalker theme kind of emerging. And it has that that Dark Trooper dubstep electronic kind of texture, and the orchestral coming up. Man, this is so sick.
Look at his face.
Right here. Look at the lady. She still doesn't know it's Luke.
Wait. Joe, I've got chills. That's Luke, isn't it? That's Luke Skywalker, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't remember his sword being green. Holy fuckballs.
In the third movie, remember?
Did he kill the other one? Oh, God, I love her. No, I don't remember it being green. I don't.
All right, here it comes. The hall scene. Son of Anakin. Son of Vader. Dude, that music. Boom, the drop. Doom, doom, doom. That build up.
Who the fuck is it?
This is so awesome.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I love the fucking Jedi. I always wanted to be a fucking Jedi.
I love that.
I thought I was a Jedi in second grade. We all did. There's only one that's powerful. That's there's only one. There's only one. And he died. Luke Skywalker died, so it can't be Luke.
Mom,
Yeah.
this is before the sequels.
Oh no shit. I didn't
Open
know.
the doors.
No. Oh my god. It's before the sequels?
Open the doors.
Are you crazy?
This reaction right here.
Oh god.
The way he emerges from the corridor with the smoke and the green lightsaber. And then you know it's Mark Hamill. Look at the way he moves. That's Mark.
Oh my god!
Woo!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Are you a Jedi?
Man, that's so
Oh,
awesome.
yeah! Why does he look so young though? He's old in real life. They had to do a makeup job.
CGI.
A makeup job.
Oh my god! That's Luke Skywalker! Oh my god!
He doesn't want
And there it is, that theme, you know, that Luke Skywalker's theme as he
Oh my
lifts the
God.
hood. It's just so good, man.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so touched by this. Blubbering my eyes out like a little baby. You know, Disney, I really hope you're paying attention, because if you see how the fans are reacting to this, this is all we wanted. This is
What
it.
is CGI?
Just
I
continue
don't know
what
how they
George
made-
started,
I don't know
like
how they made it
Kathleen
look so
Kennedy
good.
said that she would. That's all we ever asked. Well, I asked a little bit more. I was like, you know, Disney, it may be too much to ask, but could you give me a second childhood? That's all I'm asking for. That's it. Really, a second childhood, and we're good. And they failed. They totally did not deliver on the second childhood. Let's continue with this reaction. This is really touching. But this.
What is CGI? I don't know how they made it look so good. I was in love with him in second grade. And then I was in love with Han Solo, but then I went back to Luke.
You know, Disney, you saw how many people supported The Force Awakens. And you misinterpreted that. You took the goodwill that we showed you when we came out and saw The Force Awakens, and we saw it again, and we brought friends and we saw it again, because that's what Star Wars fans do. That's what we do. And you expected that that's what we would always do. And I heard of the conversations, got the box office numbers from The Force Awakens, and said, oh, we're going to make the parks after the sequel trilogy now. We're going to scrap any plans of Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and anything from before, and start transforming Star Wars into the image that Kathy wanted it to be created in. That isn't what George brought you on for, Kathy. He trusted you. And you said that you would respect these characters and continue them in the same fashion that they were started, the way George started and the way he intended. You didn't do that. You hired a hipster director and gave him carte blanche to do whatever he wanted, and he screwed Luke Skywalker, and he screwed the fan base. He traumatized people. Look at this lady. She is being healed by this scene. Thank you, Jon Favreau. And I have to say, based on what I'm seeing here, Star Wars may be saved. It might, in fact, be saved thanks to Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and yes, George freaking Lucas. And no thanks to Kathleen Kennedy as far as, well, I guess you got to give a little credit where credit's due. She allowed these men to come back and got out of the way and let them do what they're doing. And as long as she's willing to do that and to stay out of the way, let them do what they're doing, I'm fine if she stays as president of Lucasfilm forever under those circumstances. But please get out of the creative department, Kathy, because you're not one of them. You don't know Star Wars. You're not great at storytelling. Storytelling should not be a place for a political agenda ever. And it never should have been in the first place, but that's all it's been for years. And it's traumatized a lot of fans. You've noticed how the box office has been in steady decline ever since The Force Awakens. You notice how Solo lost money. You noticed how Toys R Us basically went bankrupt as a result of the glut of Star Wars merchandise that fans quit buying after the nonsense that Disney decided to pull. It was yours to mess up. You didn't have to do much. Just do this. Just give us what we know. That's it.
He's one of your kind. I'll see you again. I promise.
The scene was so touching. Little baby Grogu reaches up and puts his hand on Din Djarin's helmet,
I cannot believe that is Luke Skywalker.
and Din Djarin shows
And he
him his
looks so
face.
young.
Oh, I'm so glad
he
that
showed
people
him his
reacted like
face.
this. Man, when I saw Luke, I was like, I can't believe they did it. They actually did it. They gave us what we wanted. After all this time, they decided not to spit in our face this time. You know, when The Mandalorian first was announced as a series, I was convinced, and so were so many Star Wars fans, that at some point The Mandalorian would take off.
Skywalker was everything.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker was everything to me
I just
too.
brought back my childhood.
They brought back your childhood. See, Disney, Star Wars might be saved.
Oh my God, there's R2D2. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, so awesome, man.
Oh my God. This is just killing me.
Disney, if you're paying
Oh
attention,
my God, there's R2D2.
the point I was trying to make earlier to Darth Grogu, and I failed to finish the thought, as I often fail to finish thoughts, but when people reacted so strong to having seen Luke, or just heard Luke Skywalker's voice in the trailer for The Force Awakens, and when we heard Han Solo say Chewie, we're home, fans were crying like this lady is crying right now. But there was no moment in any of those three films of the Disney sequel trilogy where I ever had that experience. I did not cry. I did not jump for joy. I did not clap. I did not shout for joy. I didn't speculate for years with friends about what was coming next. It was just blah. It was a movie. For me, Star Wars was never a movie. For me, Star Wars was a place to go. It was a galaxy far, far away where my imagination can soar free, and I could visit old friends like Luke Skywalker and Han Solo and Princess Leia and R2 and C-3PO and Obi-Wan and Yoda and Lando. Man, but the Disney trilogy just became movies. Popcorn eating movies. And all we wanted, all we expected, was a continuation of what George started. But instead, Kathy stabs him in the back, throws away his outlines, and does whatever the hell she wants to preach a political agenda to a generation of people that are Star Wars fans that need no preaching to. We understand diversity. We understand tolerance. Star Wars is all about that. It always has been.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Is R2D2? Stop laughing. And don't film me.
I'm done now.
All right.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Jay.
All right. And that was Jay with the Drunk 3PO channel, another Fandom Menace channel. So definitely go check him out. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining. And if you're joining us for the replay, thank you as well. Smash the likes. You know, being shadow banned kind of sucks. This channel is a little bit difficult to produce content for anyway. So you may not be seeing or hearing from us for quite some time. We have the intentions to stream. We have the intentions to post, but really life just gets in the way. And man, life is so good right now, people. I feel so blessed. I'm so honored to be able to be alive right now and to be a part of everything that's happening. And it's just an amazing time to be alive. It's really the golden age, if you think about it. You know, a lot of these problems that people are so fixated on, they only exist in our minds, really. And God has given us so many avenues and pathways to solve the money problem in our lives through Bitcoin, through investing in stocks, through smart decisions, being frugal. It's not always about the money that you make. It's more about the money that you can keep. And if you can put it in assets, vehicles that can multiply that, you will be blessed. But you have to be patient. You have to play the long game. And that's what we're doing. So no matter if you hear from us again soon or sometime later, just know that we're out there, the Rep Freedom Force, Free Hollywood, doing the good work of the Lord, preaching the good news of Ron Paul, the libertarian message of freedom, and praying for all of you. We love you all. Hope that you're doing well out there. Stay safe. Stay blessed. And until we see you, we'll be out there doing that good work right alongside of you, building that future together.